$100, 4 kids, over 1,000 miles of road, and the reason for the trip isn't a vacation, it's an escape. This mom is fleeing domestic violence, driving through the night to get her kids somewhere safe, and she's doing the math on peanut butter sandwiches to make it happen. Stick around, because what she needs isn't just food tips, it's a plan. And by the end of this one, she'll have both. Hey Profiteer, Eric here, welcome back to Real Money Stories. Today's post comes from the Poverty Finance subreddit, and it's one of the rawest ones I've covered on this show. This isn't a hypothetical budgeting question. It's a mom mid-crisis, typing this out probably from a parking lot or a motel room trying to solve a 5-day problem with a $100 bill. Let me read it to you in their own words. Long story short, fleeing domestic violence to safety at my mom's house. Technically, I just need to feed me and 3 kids because my youngest is only 6 months old and breastfed. We have to drive over 1,000 miles, and I'm planning to make 4 stops so it won't be so hard on the baby. I have just enough for the gas and motels and have $100 for food. Obviously, we can't buy anything at gas stations or fast food places. We would need to probably go to Walmart once a day. I can bring a gallon of water with me every day and fill up their water bottles before we leave the hotel. I take the motels have at least a microwave, but I won't have any utensils. I know obviously peanut butter and bread, but what else would you do if you had no choice but to do this? Because I don't, it is what it is. Please share any ideas you have, okay? First thing I want to say reading this, I'm glad you're getting out. That's the headline here, not the $100. Everything else is logistics on top of an incredibly brave decision. And I want to sit with that, it is what it is, line for a second because there's no self-pity in it. She's not asking for sympathy. She's asking for a grocery list. That's a specific kind of strength, and over 1,100 people showed up in the comments because they recognized it. I've been writing about money for over a decade now, and here's a pattern I keep seeing in posts like this one. When someone's in crisis, the question they ask out loud is almost never the biggest problem they're solving. She's asking about peanut butter. What she's actually managing is 4 kids, an infant, a car, and her own safety on $4 a day per person. The food question is the one part of this she can actually control right now. That's why it matters so much to get it right. So here's what I'd probably do in her shoes. And to be clear up front, I'm not a crisis counselor or a lawyer, and if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-790 9-7,000, 230, 3 does immediate safety planning 24/7 for free. This episode is for entertainment and education, not personalized financial or legal advice, so please lean on a real advisor or local support service for your specific situation. First framework, the envelope method, applied to 5 days instead of 5 categories. You take the $100 and you split it before you ever walk into a store, not while you're standing in the aisle exhausted at 9 at night with a baby on your hip. $20 a day, 4 stops plus the final day, and here's why that matters. Decision fatigue is real. Research on willpower and depletion shows the more decisions you make in a day, the worse your later ones get. If she's deciding grocery amounts fresh every single stop, by day 4 she's going to either overspend or underfeed the kids because her brain is just tired. Committing the number removes the decision. $20 every stop, no negotiation with herself. Concrete next step, literally 4 cash envelopes or 4 phone notes, 1 per stop before she leaves for the first Walmart. Second framework, and this is the one that actually answers her question, shop by calories and shelf life, not by brand or by habit. Peanut butter and bread are a great instinct, they're calorie dense, and they don't need a fridge or utensils. I'd build on that same logic. Tortillas instead of bread, they don't smash in a hot car. Individual applesauce pouches, kids can drink those straight from the pack. String cheese, bananas, individually wrapped crackers, single-serve oatmeal cups if the motel has hot water from the microwave. Rotisserie chicken you tear by hand instead of one you need a knife for. And here's the why behind all of it. Every item on that list survives a hot car with no cooler and needs 0 utensils, which solves 2 of her stated problems at once instead of 1 at a time. There's a wrinkle most people miss here though, and it's worth pausing on. The obvious instinct is to buy in bulk, to save money per ounce, big jar of peanut butter, big loaf of bread, big bag of chips. On paper, that's the cheaper choice. In this situation, it's the wrong one. With no cooler, no fridge, and 4 kids eating out of the same supply for 5 days in a hot car, spoilage is a real cost too. You just don't see it on the receipt. A giant tub of something that goes bad on day 3 isn't a deal. It's wasted money she can't afford to waste. Single-serve, shelf-stable items cost a little more per ounce, and they're the actually cheaper choice once you count what doesn't get thrown away. I'd call that the spoilage tax, and it's the kind of thing that only shows up once you've been burned by it. On the utensils problem, specifically small fix, most budget motels keep plasticware behind the front desk for guests. Even if it's not in the room, it costs nothing to ask. And a $3 to $5 travel utensil kit from the same Walmart she's already stoppins it for the whole trip one time. Out of one day's $20, not a new expense every stop. Third thing, and this one isn't really a food framework, it's a resource stack, but it matters just as much as the grocery list. She's treating this as a $100 problem when it might not have to be. 2 calls are worth making if she has 5 minutes of signal at a gas stop. Dialing 211 connects to local assistance in whatever county she's passing through. Sometimes that's a food pantry bag ready in 20 minutes, no paperwork. And Abu Aisi, if she's eligible, covers formula, milk, and baby food at participating stores nationwide. So if she's not already enrolled, it's worth 10 minutes at her destination. Neither of those requires her to explain her whole situation to a stranger at checkout. They exist for exactly this. So what here? The specific numbers in this post are $100, 4 kids, 5 days, but the principle underneath it is the same one that applies whether you're budgeting a road trip or a monthly grocery bill on any income. Decide the number before you're standing in the store tired, and know what resources exist before the day you actually need them. Most people only learn about 211 or GUB-IC in the middle of a crisis. Knowing it now costs nothing. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.